Okay, so as women, we are very familiar with cycles, right? So a cycle basically means that the same thing is happening over and over and over again. So we think of cycles, we think of a circle, right? Talk about the circle of life. Every woman's life, though, has seasons. You have a season where you are a baby, right? And actually, even if we go before that, you have a season where you are inside of your mother and you're not fully formed yet, right? And then you're born as a baby. And then after you're a baby, you're a child. Child. I can spell, I promise. You're a child. And then you go through puberty, right? And then you have womanhood. Yeah, let's call it, I'm calling it womanhood because I'm talking about women, but you're an adult. And then even as an adult, there are various seasons that you will go through based on what happens. So let's say you get married or you have a different job. You start a new job or you have a different job. You go from one job to the next. And there are things that can happen in your life that will affect the season that you're in, like your friendships, like new family members. So let's say now you have a baby, so you become a mother, or someone passes away, right? These are things that are all going to affect your life. While all this is happening, this is the world around you, right? These are the things that are happening to you. This is the stuff that's happening around you. And just as life has natural seasons, so in most of the world, in a lot of the world, because geographically, I'm not even sure if it's most of the world, but in a lot of the world, we have 4 seasons, right? So now a lot of the world is coming into the fall season. And then after fall, we have winter. I'm just going to put W because I don't have much space, right? And then after winter, we have spring. And then after spring, we have summer, right? And these seasons flow into one another and it's dependable, right? It's a dependable process. We know that this is going to happen year after year after year. Within our bodies, we also have cycles. We have a menstrual cycle. I promise I can write, right? And your menstrual cycle is going to affect your emotions, right? We can feel all different types of ways during our menstrual cycle. While all this is happening, this is happening. This is out of our control, right? And this also includes not only are there cycles within the environment and within the seasons, there are things like economic cycles, cycles in society, there's technology. These things are not within our control. But yet, these are cycles, these are cycles, these are cycles. All this is happening around us, and much of it is outside of our control. So what do? You need to have your own personal cycle. And one of the things to note about cycles is that, so right now we're in the fall season, right? In the natural cycle of the world. There is a point between every single one of these cycles where fall becomes winter. It is undeniable. Around here, you're gonna feel the temperature drop. You're gonna realize, okay, maybe I can't wear shorts anymore. Maybe I need to put some boots on. I need a scarf. I need some gloves. It's getting cold and I need to change my wardrobe. I need to change the way that I am showing up, because I am not going to be able to function in the world if I keep showing up as a fall person in a winter season. So when all these things happen, you can correlate it back to the season. If you get married, you can't be the same woman you were before you were married and you were now sharing life with someone else. If you start a new job, you can't show up the same way you showed up in your old job. There are going to be different requirements because of the environment, because of the culture of the job, because of the nature of the job, all these different things. If you're in new friendships, new friends require a different version of you. This doesn't mean that you are changing yourself to fit the husband, to fit the job, to fit the friendship, to fit the baby, or to fit the void that is left when a person passes away. You are not changing who you are, but you are required to show up differently. All these variables are part of being a woman. And so what happens is you now have to absolutely be able. It's funny because my first degree is in art. You would not think that. You as a woman have to be able to maintain a sense of peace, a sense of clarity while all this stuff is going on. I'm saying all this to say we all have seasons of change in our lives. This is the point at which we have to decide how we're going to show up in the new season. There's a threshold, and you can look at it not just circular, but you can look at it in a linear way. So let's say this is fall. Let's say this is winter, because that's where we are right now. Okay, so this is fall, and this is winter. I don't know what your fall is, and I don't know what your winter is, but you are here. And it always feels like a dip. The space between seasons feels like a dip. It feels like a valley. You know, we talk about the valleys of life. When you're in the fall season, when you're in the thick of it, you know what's going to happen, right? You know what to expect. You know how to dress. You know how to behave, because we're in the fall season. I just realized I'm ahead of myself, but that's okay. I'm going to keep going with this. You're in the fall season, and you may be in the fall season of your life. Maybe not literally in the fall season where you're wearing coats and scarves, but in the fall season of your life where it feels like you are heading into a place that is cold. You're heading into a place where you are locked away, and you are heading into a place where it seems like you can't go out and have fun, right? And do the things that you wanted to do. It feels restrictive, and you're not sure what you need to do or who you need to be. Do not take this point as failure. It is not failure. It is a moment of transition. That's all it is. And it is a moment, right? It's not forever. It's not forever. It is a moment. Allow this moment to teach you what you need to learn, and ask these questions. What is this season teaching me? Right? What is this season teaching? Because every season has a lesson. Ask yourself, who am I becoming? And ask yourself, who am I to be in this moment? Too often we try to live into the future, and we cannot live into the future We have to live for the moment. And when you recognize what is needed in the moment and who you have to be in the moment, it is easier to transition into the future. And you find that you can actually move forward and that you stop restricting yourself or limiting yourself because you recognize that there is a future. And it is a future that you don't have to be afraid of. And you learn to trust yourself. And you learn to trust God. Because remember what I said, a woman needs 3 daily appointments. One with God, one with herself, and then her appointments with others. And all this stuff that you have to do and all this that you have to be starts to make sense because you are not approaching it from a place of confusion, but you are approaching it from a place of clarity. I hope this helps. Blessings on your journey. I'll talk to you soon.